A trial began today in a case that could reshape the relationship between software developers and Apple's App Store. Epic Games, maker of the popular video game Fortnite, sued Apple, claiming the company used its market power to turn its digital storefront into an illegal monopoly, squeezing mobile apps for a chunk of their earnings. Apple does take a 15 to 30% commission on app purchases, bringing in billions of dollars each year. Joining me now to discuss the trial is Lisa Edichico. She's a senior tech correspondent for Business Insider. Hopefully I didn't butcher your last name too badly, Lisa. I hope I didn't.
No, it was great. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you so much. In a nutshell, explain kind of how we got to this point in terms of the lawsuit and what it could potentially mean for everyday iPhone users as they download their favorite apps.
Sure. So really at the center of this legal battle is Apple's App Store policy. And as you mentioned, the fact that it takes a 15 to 30% commission on App Store transactions. Developers have been upset about this for years. There have been complaints that have boiled up. But this lawsuit, this legal battle between Epic and Apple is by far, the biggest spotlight on this issue to date. And, I think one of the big things to look out for this week is really, whether Apple will be forced or whether they'll be willing to make any changes to the way that it runs the App Store, because the App Store is a huge source of revenue for them. It's a really big deal. So they have they really have a lot at stake here. And for the everyday consumer, if there are any changes coming out of this lawsuit, out of this legal battle, it'll probably be a while before we see it. But if Apple is forced to change the commission rates that it charges for App Store transactions, there is a chance that, maybe apps that have paid subscriptions and paid elements will get a little bit cheaper down the line because, a big part of the argument is that it's hard for developers to price their apps competitively because they do have to account for that 15 to 30% commission.
And essentially, they're trying to get to the bottom of this idea of whether Apple basically has a monopoly the way it's currently operating right now. The Washington Post put it this way. One possible outcome in the case is a very different smartphone landscape in which the powerful computers in everyone's pockets operate more like desktop computers where any kind of software is allowed to exist.
Yes, and that's exactly right. That's really been at the center of this whole debacle, right? Is, should the iPhone be treated just like every other computer? Is it a computer first or is it an Apple smartphone first? And also, along that line of thinking, a big part of this decision is going to come down to whether, Fortnite is considered an app first and foremost or a video game first and foremost, because that really defines the market that they're looking at here. And if it's an app first and foremost, well, then, of course, this has a lot of ramifications for Epic and, not being on the iPhone is a huge, huge deal. But if you think about it, as a video game first and foremost, well, then the argument could be, well, you're on Xbox, you're on PlayStation, you're on these other platforms. So, I think that's also a really big part of this decision, too, is thinking about not only the position of the iPhone, like, is it a computer or an Apple smartphone, but I think this is going to have big ramifications for how we look at apps as well. Is it an app first and foremost, or is it, whatever the product is first and foremost?
What an age for the digital question. What makes an app versus what makes a video game? And listen, Fortnite is wildly popular, and we all know that trials and good lawyers are not cheap. How can Epic afford to take on this behemoth of Apple?
Well, Epic, it definitely is a little bit of an underdog story, but Epic isn't that small of a company either. Fortnite is wildly successful. They make a lot of money on, items that they sell in the game, like costumes and skins and things like that. And they also have other products too, like the Unreal Engine, which is used by many, many game developers. So Epic in the gaming world is actually pretty big. Of course, it's not Apple. Apple is a behemoth, and this still is very much like a David and Goliath situation. But I do think it'll be difficult. It'll be an uphill battle for them to really make any changes. But the one thing that we do know is that regardless of the outcome of this case, it's definitely shining a spotlight and starting this conversation. And it's also coming at a time when Apple is already under, a lot of scrutiny from an antitrust perspective. So I think Epic, to some degree, probably knows that like the timing is right for something like this, and it's not just going to be Epic versus Apple, because there's already all of this concern about Apple and the debate about whether or not it's a monopoly, and all of those concerns we've seen over the past year.
And real quick, 10 seconds left. I want to throw this in, switch gears real quick. We do expect a major decision from Facebook on Wednesday about former President Trump's account. 20 seconds, just explain what we're looking for.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, this is the first major decision made by Facebook's new oversight board, which is really important because, it's designed just to help Facebook make these big decisions about ideas like, freedom of speech and things like that, a company like Facebook probably shouldn't be making on its own anyway. So we'll see how that works. And I think it's going to provide a blueprint for how social media companies like Facebook make these sorts of big decisions in the future, to suspend or ban a very big figure like Donald Trump.
All right, Wednesday will be interesting. Lisa, thanks so much for your time and insight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.